another question, very, very quickly. How do I get exactly 350 FPS? So this is another FAQ that we get during the live streams and everything like that. And we've covered this slightly.
I feel like
power.
we've pretty much answered this.
It's kind of two ways. It's you don't need to get it to.
No.
There's two ways to answer this. You don't need 350 FPS exactly, because if it is exact, there's always a chance that you go to the wrong site or the chrono's off or whatever, and you chrono over, you can't use it. I've always been, since I started, I've always had better experience with platforms that are about 330, 340 than trying to get up there. I mean, 340 is close, but 330, I think the PTW does 330, and it fires God knows. I think it's 270 on a 0.3.
Yeah, and you've always got to be aware of dual creepage as well, because obviously if you then decide to use 0.25s, 0.28s, 0.3s, I mean, I run 0.32s in my AEG, for example. You're always risking going over that dualage limit, power limit. Yeah. So the equivalent might then be over 350 FPS if it was an equivalent.
It's very, very prevalent with bolt actions, is that?
Yeah.
So people try and set their platform up right on the limit with the lowest weight.
Yeah.
And this again, this isn't probably deliberate. It's just physics with certain things and momentum and everything like that. Is each different weight of BB has a lower FPS because it's power, not speed, is what we're trying to achieve. You're not trying to make each BB do the same speed of 500 FPS. It's the kinetic power of how hard it's going to hit to keep people safe. And a BB coming out at 350 or 500 on different platforms, you then put a heavier BB in, it might not drop speed enough to go under the power limit. So say you're at, I think it's 106 meters per second for a 2, and then like 98 on a 2.5. If you drop to the 2.5 and it still does 101 meters, you're hot.
Yeah.
You're fine on a 2, but you're not on a 2.5.
Yeah.
And that's the danger of chasing the limit.
Yeah.
And you will think that limit is actually, it's not actually the limit. The limit is like 328 because it's plus minus 10%.
Yeah.
So you're already over. It's just the way that sites and chronos and everything like that work.
Yeah.
Is you
and some sites actually run that 328 limit as well. So if you were at 350, you'd go to a site. You wouldn't be
especially
able to use it.
CQB.
Yeah.
CQB like to stick to a joule, everything like that.
Yeah.
I mean, might be a bit controversial, but playing in the various places that I've played, 350 is fine, but I'd quite happily play higher at some places.
Well, like they do in America, for example.
In the States, in Denmark, in France, it's very different. So again, the sites are obviously a lot bigger. Playing some of their, like the hospitals and the MOD, their military sites. It's very, very different. So they're allowed like 1.55 joules on a 2.5, which is about 410 FPS over here on a 2. But you've got to think of the ranges that you're working at.
Yeah.
Denmark, I don't think there is a limit. So basically, they put a minimum engagement on the person.
Yeah.
But it's a very tight-knit community. It's a very small community, so it's quite easily managed. But I think they also have a law that you're not allowed to fire within 2 meters.
Right.
So there's various different things, but my advice is don't chase that 350. Try and sit around that 330 unless you go in like DMR or bolt action. Yeah. And again, try and sit where...
Leave yourself some wiggle room.
Yeah, especially for dual creep, because you just want to be able to use it and not have to go home.
Yeah.
Or use a rental.
Unless it's a CM radar.
Unless it's a CM radar and it'll last you all day.